Life has always felt a little chaotic to me, like this swirling mess of unpredictability where even the smallest choices can throw everything off course, or bring it together in ways I never expected. Then I stumbled upon this idea of strange attractors, a concept that comes from chaos theory. It's all about how, in the middle of what seems like random chaos, certain patterns emerge, pulling things toward them and creating a kind of order. At first, it sounded like pure science, but the more I thought about it, the more it started to feel like a metaphor for life and how we chase personal success. Think about it. Life really is one big chaotic system. You make a tiny decision, like saying yes to an opportunity, trying something new, or meeting someone you wouldn't usually talk to, and that one moment spirals into something completely unexpected. I've had times when a single choice, as small as attending a workshop or sending an email, led to opportunities one never could have planned for. It's like finding this hidden thread in all the noise, one that pulls you towards something meaningful. What's wild is how these patterns show up in our habits and behavior too. At first, everything feels scattered. You start journaling or meditating, or you take a risk and switch careers, and at first it seems like nothing's changing. But over time, these small, consistent actions reveal this deeper structure, almost like they're shaping the trajectory of your life. For me, it was committing to a habit of self-reflection. It didn't feel like much in the beginning, but months in, I started seeing how it was influencing not just my mood, but my decisions, and even the way I handled challenges. It was like the chaos of life was starting to make sense. Not all of it, but enough to see the patterns emerging. Then there's this whole idea of convergence, which might be the most reassuring part of strange attractors. It's the idea that, even in the middle of all the randomness and chaos, things have a way of pulling together towards something stable. When I've been at my lowest, unsure if I was making the right choices or even moving in the right direction, I kept reminding myself of this. As long as I stayed focused on my goals, like really tuned into what mattered to me, life had a way of circling back to where it needed to be. Sure, the journey was never straight or simple, but somehow, I kept finding my way back to the path that felt right. This isn't to say that everything magically falls into place. Chaos still shows up. It's part of the deal. But learning to work with it instead of fighting it, that's been the game changer. One of the first things I had to learn was the power of small changes. It's easy to get caught up in thinking you need a massive overhaul to make progress, but that's not how it works. It's those tiny, consistent actions, reading for 10 minutes, reaching out to one new person, setting one small goal, that start the ripple effect. It's not about trying to control the chaos. It's about planting seeds in it and watching them grow. Of course, it's not always smooth. Chaos has a way of knocking you down when you least expect it. I've faced setbacks that felt like proof I was on the wrong path. But every time, resilience kept me going. I've learned to accept that life's unpredictable, and instead of getting stuck in frustration, I've tried to see challenges as part of the process. They've forced me to adapt, to rethink my approach, and more often than not, they've led me to something better than what I originally had in mind. And maybe the most important thing I've learned is to stay curious. Adopting a growth mindset isn't just about being positive, it's about being open to the idea that even failures are lessons, that the messiness of life is where the magic happens. Every time I've leaned into that mindset, I've found new ways to grow, even when the initial conditions felt like they were working against me. So, here's the truth about all of this. Life is messy and chaotic, but it's also full of potential. Strange attractors have taught me that even in the chaos, there's order waiting to emerge. Every small choice, every habit, every moment of resilience or curiosity, it all adds up. It might not always be obvious in the moment, but over time, those little actions pull you closer to something bigger, something meaningful. And when you embrace that, when you lean into the complexity instead of shying away from it, that's when you find your way towards success. One small, chaotic step at a time.